We are taking you into the news right now with the Fox 45 news feed. It's 11 a.m. Governor Westmore is looking to tackle mass shootings, but so far has remained silent on one here in Baltimore, while some are saying that sends the wrong message. Annapolis Mayor Gavin Buckley also addressing violence and grief, how he hopes resources can help his city recover after last week's tragedy. And lawmakers passed only one crime bill during this year's legislative session, while one expert says they must do more to prevent bloodshed. Fox 45 News Midday starts now.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News Midday.
Thanks for joining us for Fox 45 News Midday. I'm Patrice Sanders. Turning now to a city in crisis and another violent weekend in Baltimore. Just last night, a 52-year-old woman was shot in Northeast Baltimore, right near Montebello Terrace. She was taken to the hospital. We are working to find out more about her condition. Anyone with information about the shooting should call police. Baltimore police continue to investigate a mass shooting in Northeast Baltimore Friday night. It came less than a week after another mass shooting in Annapolis the weekend prior. Shannon Lilly is joining us with the message from the governor and why some say it's the wrong one.
Well, the governor has yet to comment on Friday's mass shooting that happened here in the city, but it came just one night after he unveiled his three-part plan to try to curb crime as we move into the summer months. Now, according to the governor, that plan is data-driven, and it also moves away from what the previous administration was doing here in our state. Moore announced it just days after speaking in a press conference the morning after a mass shooting in Annapolis. Let's take a listen to what he had to say then.
And for all Marylanders, I know that many people might be feeling numb right now. Numb to the violence that we see in our streets and across the country.
Just days later, 6 people were injured in Friday's mass shooting in Northeast Baltimore. The governor, though, has so far remained quiet. Former Baltimore City Prosecutor Thiru Vignarajah says that could send the wrong message.
It can't be that some are so normal, so commonplace that they don't deserve a comment. That sends the wrong signal about the value of life. A life in Baltimore should count as much as a life in Annapolis. We know that's the way it's supposed to be, but we also know that that's not really true.
Meanwhile, city police here certainly have their hands full as Friday's mass shooting marks the 4th mass shooting we have seen here in the city just so far this year. And as far as we know, that shooter in Friday's mass shooting is still at large. Reporting from police headquarters, I'm Shannon Lilly, Fox 45 News, Midday.
Well, the mass shooting in Baltimore came just one day after Governor Moore unveiled his summer crime plan. 3 pillars: support for law enforcement, building stronger communities, and collaboration across all levels of government. Fox 45 News has heard from many law enforcement and political experts who are skeptical of the plan.
The bottom line is press conferences, policy papers, plans, while they're important, citizens don't give 2 cents about any of that. They care about wanting to feel and actually being safe. So a plan is only as good as its ability to be executed.
I've heard people talk about the substance of the plan, but the reality of the matter is what the governor's doing is saying, I'm going to give you the resources and the tools you need to address your problem. I'm not going to dictate to you. I'm not going to be an overseer or a master.
Others argue, though, that the plan doesn't get to the root of the problem: illegal guns on city streets.
I think it's a light framework. I mean, there's some ideas there that are really good as far as getting youth more involved and getting them jobs, some coaching and things like that. But they need to have more specifics, especially in the area where the problem is. It's guns and the proliferation of guns in communities. And that really isn't being tackled and may not get tackled really until the next legislative session in Annapolis next year.
Well, during this year's legislative session, lawmakers did not pass any laws cracking down on violent offenders, including the Violent Firearms Offender Act. The only bill targeting criminals made the maximum penalty for illegally possessing a firearm uniform. Fox 45 News pressed the governor on crime legislation multiple times throughout the session, but did not get many answers.
A lot of bills didn't make it through that would have implemented more accountability for juvenile offenders. Do you know why those didn't move?
Well, I think it is incredibly important that we collectively deal with this issue.
Have you used your position in the governor's office to really lobby and push lawmakers to move forward on some of those bills?
Yeah, I've been very clear with not just legislators, but with also people throughout the state that the number one priority for any chief executive has got to be making sure that your people are safe.
Well, we want to hear from you. Do you think Governor Moore is the right person to tackle the state's crime crisis? So far, 95% of those who have voted say no. Head to foxbaltimore.com/vote to weigh in. 11:05 now. Here's a look at today's top trending stories. Trending number one, in the wake of a deadly mass shooting in Annapolis, which claimed the lives of 3 people, Annapolis Mayor Gavin Buckley will hold a gun violence prevention press conference tomorrow. The mayor says he hopes to provide grief resources and share anti-gun violence programs following the recent incident. Trending number 2, union workers at the United Parcel Service, you know it is UPS, are threatening to walk off the job if a contract between the company and Teamsters isn't reached soon. A strike by its 340,000 workers would become the largest single employer strike in the nation's history. Now, if a strike happens, a report says that back-to-school deliveries could be affected and holiday season supplies may be disrupted. Trending number 3, President Joe Biden will highlight his plan on climate change when he makes a campaign swing through Northern California this week. He is expected to unveil a major program to help communities, especially those in coastal regions, become more resilient to extreme weather and other impacts of climate change. Trending number 4, this weekend, the Maryland Zoo will host their Wine in the Wilderness event. This event gives attendees the opportunity to spread a blanket and enjoy some wine while visiting native species like bobcats, river otters, and farmyard animals. You can buy tickets and find more information on the zoo's website. Trending number 5, Eddie's of Mount Vernon says it is closing at the end of the month. The beloved family-owned grocery store has served the community for decades. It made the announcement in a Facebook post. It didn't list a reason for the closure. Download the Fox 45 News app for up-to-the-minute traffic conditions, breaking news and weather anytime. Search WBFF in your app store. You may be paying significantly more for your checked baggage, the airline that is upping the price. And many people check reviews before making purchases online, why one tech giant says you shouldn't always trust what you read. And a touching Father's Day moment turns to tears after a major mistake. But how the story of heartbreak for one brother ended up turning into fun for the whole family.
Our temperatures are heating up as we head toward the afternoon. We're tracking some more showers this week and then cooler numbers by Wednesday, which actually is the first day of summer. So taking a look at your forecast, 91 today, lower 70s tonight, and we'll be back to the mid-80s tomorrow with more cloud cover and a couple of showers as well. Breaking all this down for you coming up in my full forecast in just a few minutes.
Fox 45 News, nominated for 26 2022 Regional Emmy Awards, more than all other local news stations combined.
11:09 and taking a look at the headlines generating discussion on the social stream this morning. A 3-day ceasefire now in effect in Sudan. The truce was brokered by the U.S. and Saudi Arabia, and it comes ahead of a pledging conference the United Nations is organizing today. The event seeks to raise funds to cover Sudan's humanitarian needs. The UN says it has only reached about 16% of its $2.6 billion goal for the year. According to the World Health Organization, more than half of Sudan's population is in need of humanitarian aid. You've got a lot of people talking about it. One saying, it is sad how the situation in some African countries, such as Somalia, Uganda, Nigeria, and Sudan, is getting worse and forcing people to flee in order to live in peace and safety. But as humans, we also have to offer protection because we all live on one planet. Another one saying, God, please stop this ridiculous war. Well, a Philadelphia teen, look at this, was denied her diploma for what you just saw right there. She danced across the stage some during graduation. The 17-year-old says the principal warned students that their families could not cheer or clap when they walk on stage. She says because the crowd laughed as she danced, the principal told her she couldn't receive her diploma. As she gets to the end of the stage, she tells her no, sit down, and she doesn't give her her diploma. Well, after the ceremony, the school district of Philadelphia said in a statement, quote, the district does not condone the withholding of earned diplomas based on family members cheering for their graduates. We apologize. This story is it's crazy to me. All right, so here's a reaction. The principal had no principles, and she also lacked diplomacy, was one way of looking at it. Another person said she was showing her joy and proud of her accomplishment. That action by the school was unbelievable. He's crushed. That's all understandable. This one says, this is why moms are always hesitant to send dad off on an adventure solo with the kids. Just kidding, of course. But halfway true. Bottom line, this dad taking his boys to Fenway on Father's Day will forever be remembered. A good thing. Yes, absolutely it will be. That was a wonderful outing. All right, fathers are getting together and riding for their children. How one group hopes to improve the lives of kids struggling with illness. And could tighter-knit families improve Baltimore's crime crisis? In just a moment, the city's top prosecutor weighs in on that issue. And coming up later today at noon, it's Karamo. Then at 1, it's Sherry, followed by Hot Bench at 2. 11:13 now on Fox 45 News Midday. Taking a live look over the Inner Harbor, hot today with chances of rain increasing as we head toward the weekend. Meteorologist Justin Chambers will break down our full forecast. That's coming up in just a few minutes. 11:14 now and trending this morning. A group of dads and supporters came together this Father's Day to show their support and raise money for children battling illnesses. They're part of a bigger group supporting children who will go to a special camp where they can have fun and receive treatment. They biked a 60-mile training ride here in Baltimore and ended with a barbecue ahead of a bigger ride later this summer.
Last year, my son was diagnosed with cancer. and a lymphoma, aggressive lymphoma. And he was in inpatient treatment for, well, the second half of last year. Missed summer camp, missed school, and I was there in the hospital with him. And I didn't realize it before, but this organization, Chai Lifeline, which runs Camp Simcha and the fundraiser Bike for Chai, they don't just do the summer camp. They also send volunteers into the hospital to, decorate the hospital room or bring food.
The fact that there's a child in a home that is going through internal illnesses such as cancer, it's very important for the family to get support, because otherwise the family can fall apart. So what Chai Lifeline does, they give the support and the help, whatever is needed, so the families don't fall apart.
Well, the big bike ride starts in Pennsylvania and ends in New York. It lasts multiple days and has participants bike more than 100 miles, all to raise money for children in need. Well, City State's Attorney Ivan Bates sat down with political commentator Armstrong Williams, along with his own father and his daughter, talking about the importance of having a father figure in children's lives.
Well, I think that your child didn't ask to be here. Your child was a gift, I believe, from God. And it's upon you to make sure that you shape who you are, your legacy, your background, everything that's good about you and the bad things about you. Your children will listen, they'll look, and they'll see. And at the end of the day, the mistakes you've made in your life, it's upon you to make sure your children don't make those mistakes. And that's why you have to invest the time. The time. When you invest the time, you'll see the benefits pay off. I'm a big believer of that. My father invested the time. There were times I could not stand that man when I was younger, but then you always look back. He's without a doubt, he's been my hero.
Well, we've been getting a lot of pictures from our viewers celebrating their dads. Michelle sent us this picture of her dad on her wedding day. Absolutely beautiful there. And Mariah sent us this picture of the whole family celebrating Father's Day. And then Kayla sent us this father-daughter duo wishing the dad in her life a happy Father's Day. Well, we want to see your Father's Day celebration. Scan the QR code on your screen. That will take you to our website where you can send in your pictures and videos. You can also go to foxbaltimore.com/chime in. Coming up on Fox 45 News at 4, Governor Moore says he's making progress in the Baltimore crime fight just days after another mass shooting. Why he's touting his public safety plans on national TV, as we are still waiting for more details. Then at 5, could it be a $1 billion waste? The concerns from a taxpayer advocate about the revival of the Red Line project and the other public transportation options he says are available to leaders. Then at 6, violence is rising in Baltimore's Western District as the head of some key public safety programs is stepping down. What comes next for the gun violence reduction strategy after Shante Jackson's departure? 11:18, and now to today's talking point. E-commerce giant Amazon says social media sites aren't doing enough to crack down on fake business practice. Amazon says they want more help from social media platforms in policing phony business reviews that end up on Amazon. Last year, Amazon leaders say they took legal action against 90 brokers who promoted phony reviews. They also sued 10,000 Facebook group administrators who attempted to post fake reviews on Amazon. Amazon says there were more than 23,000 groups promoting fake reviews last year. Mark Clark with Be More Lifestyle is here now. And Mark, as someone who lives on Amazon, I mean, I do so much shopping through there. It's so much easier. I need to know the real deal. So I want them to crack down on the crazy reviews.
Yeah, no, hey, like you said, the reviews, for us sophisticated Amazon users, the reviews can make or break a decision.
Yeah, I was trying to make a decision about something this weekend. So I always look for what I want offline, and then I see if I can find it on Amazon.
Yeah.
And I was looking for some luggage and a piece of luggage, and the reviews, I mean, they're all over the place. And so I never went through with the purchase because I wasn't sure about the reviews.
And I think we forget. It's almost like we're almost too smart for our own good, because on one hand, like you say, we wait all these reviews, but then when you think about it, there are so many games being played on different ways where people are, fudging the reviews. Right. And I know you do what I do. Like a lot of times you'll be like, okay, there's only 5,000 reviews here, and this has 4 reviews. I got to go with this one. But anyway.
But yeah, no, I try to read the best ones, and then I go to the worst ones and see, and then I read the middle ones. So I read I read a little bit of each to see.
Every review, Patrice.
Not every review. All right, don't laugh at me. Goodbye. All right, from June snow to a beautiful sunrise over New York City. Meteorologist Justin Chambers joins us now with some wild and wonderful weather from around the country.
How about some snow in the month of June? This is in the state of Washington. You can see the snowfall that is there, and a lot of folks are like, hey, say it ain't snow. But yeah, this is exactly what's going on there. Mount Rainier and the Cascades, so that's what they're looking at for their day today. No snow for us here. In fact, temperatures are heating up. We're talking about mid to upper 80s and lower 90s as we take you into the afternoon. Typically, we're in the mid 80s this time of year for our average high, but going to be well above that number as we take you into Monday afternoon. Under partly cloudy skies, lower 90s for your highs. The sun up until 8:36, so those daylight hours continue to get a little bit longer as we get closer to that first day of summer. On your sprinkler cast, maybe you can hold off on the sprinkling on the yards here for the next couple of days or watering, because we are tracking more rain that is headed our way, especially as we get to Tuesday and Wednesday. But high temps today will be in the upper 80s and lower 90s, so a lot of that grass and a lot of those gardens are pretty crusty and dry out there. In fact, up and down the 95 corridor, mid to upper 80s and lower 90s is what we are going to see for your highs today. Heading down the ocean, 76 at Ocean City, and overall temperatures actually dropping into Tuesday and Wednesday with a better chance for rain showers by midweek. Let's show you what's going on our future scan. So staying mainly dry for your Monday afternoon. Monday evening into Tuesday, we'll see a few showers roll in. And Tuesday afternoon, it's not a lot of rain, but at least a few showers will be around. Better chance for more rain. This is Wednesday. You can see more of the yellows and oranges indicating some possible heavy rain, at times some good soaking rain, which is what we need for our very dry situation. And then those off and on showers will continue into Thursday as well. Here's your 10-day forecast. And again, unsettled weather all the way into this upcoming weekend, but our temperatures are dropping. So after today, we're actually only going to get to barely 80 degrees on Wednesday and Thursday, and then mid to upper 80s for the weekend. Then we'll be warmer toward the first part of next week.
All right, Justin, thank you. An exciting, emotional end to the toughest task in golf. Why a U.S. Open win means more than just a trophy to Wyndham Clark. And an interesting opportunity from the Irish government, how you can get paid to buy houses on the Emerald Isle. 11:22 is the time.
who takes down all the stars in Los Angeles to win the United States Open.
Oh, that's a happy moment there. Don't miss this. Wyndham Clark conquers golf's toughest test, taking down some of the best golfers in the world on his way to winning the U.S. Open. This is Clark's second win on the PGA Tour, and he is dedicating the win to his mom, who introduced him to the game, but then tragically lost her life to cancer just before Clark started playing professionally.
All I really wish is that my mom could be here and I could just hug her and we could celebrate together. But I know she's proud of me.
Yeah, she knows. Well, sending you into your lunch break now with an opportunity. Ireland is willing to help you buy a house with a few catches. The government of the Emerald Isle wants to revitalize 30 islands on its Atlantic coast. Government leaders say they will help those interested with $92,000 grants, which can be used for redecoration, insulation, and refurbishing those homes. Well, that's all we have for Fox 45 News Midday. Be More Lifestyle is up next. Mark Clark back to tell us what they're working on.
That's right, Patrice. How much water is enough? We'll get into that next on Be More Lifestyle.
You're watching Fox 45 in Baltimore. Now live from TV Hill, this is Be More Lifestyle.
Hey, what's up, Baltimore? I'm Mark Clark, and this is Be More Lifestyle live from Studio A at Fox Baltimore. Lady Chi is here, along with motivator, influencer Gina Humber in the building. What's up, everybody?
What's up, fam?
Let me tell you right now, look, stay hydrated all summer long, but how much water is enough? We've often heard that 8 glasses of water is what you need. The CDC doesn't have a hard and fast rule for just plain water. It says women need 9 cups of beverages per day, including water, and men need 13 cups of beverages per day, including water. Gina, you are all in your health. You are all doing your thing. What's your take on this water? How much water, Gina?
You know, oh my God, I can't believe you're asking me that because I literally drink hardly any water.
Wait
and
a minute.
I know. I'm like, don't ask me that question. I absolutely do not like water, but I do believe in hydration, so I'll take in watermelon, cantaloupe. You know what I'm saying? I'll do the substitute of water because I don't like water. And the other thing too, of course, is that you hydrate with like your G2s and those kind of things.
Okay.
So,
Lady T?
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't drink water either. Shit.
Wait a minute.
Okay. Listen, hold on, wait. I do like the finer things in life, though. So I will turn up with some sparkling water. I do the Perriers. I do the Pellegrinos. You know,
not the Pellegrinos.
Listen, I have a little in there. But I love sparkling water. It's my new fascination. Jennifer Gilbert, shout out to her, our previous Fox 45 anchor, for putting me on to the Pellegrino, sis, and the lime version of it, too. Oh, gosh.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Fine.
We got to do better.
No water drinkers except, well, I'm not that great either. We want you to tell us how much water do you drink a day? Vote now on our website, foxbaltimore.com/vote. When you get to the website, make sure you click on the lifestyle tab. You can also vote on our Fox 45 News app. And at the end of the show, we'll see what everybody thinks or drinks. Skip the water for this next trend. Dry pedicures are becoming a thing. It's a normal treatment. Just take out the steps that involve water. The benefit, it could be more sanitary and your polish could last longer. Lady T, you and Gina's feet are banging as always.
White toes. It's white toe season, y'all. Hey,
what's your take on this dry pedicure, though?
I think it's a stupid idea.
Oh, wow.
I think it's a dumb idea because the point of the pedicure, I didn't show up for nothing dry. I showed up, the only thing I want dry when I get my pedicure is the wine, baby, okay?
Wow, well done.
The wine better be dry, but no.
Well done. I didn't know where
the water is to soak your feet because while I'm waiting there, my feet are going to soak, and sometimes my feet are a little bit swollen from like walking around doing all this stuff. So yeah, your feet have to soak in the water, and it's easier for the nail polish to come off. So no, this is a terrible idea.
Gina, also our again fitness fanatic. What's your take, Gina?
Come on, Gina.
I know Gina could put her feet up there
Gina
right now.
Laughing, so I don't know.
Those toes are perfect right now, Gina.
I really do have really nice toes.
She does.
But no, I mean, the whole point, is to get into that water and to feel it, and the connectivity of it. And like when I think about water, I think about feminine energy. So all of that is that time for me to luxuriate on myself.
Okay. Exactly. She's right.
It's Gina's face for me on that luxuriate.
It's luxurious. Okay. It's a relaxing time.
Okay.
Right, Gina?
Well, get ready to pull out your wallet. There's about to be a big increase for check bags on American Airlines. Basic economy passengers will have to pay $75 to check their first bag on transoceanic flights. Delta and United don't charge for the first check bag. Again, Gina also is a travel queen, international travel queen. So, okay, quickly, Gina, what's your take on this charge? I know you just got something you don't have to get a charge. Go ahead.
All right. So you know that I hate shouting people out, but I'm going to shout out American Airlines.
What?
First of all, I don't even ride them. I know this is not popular, but they don't have TVs, they don't like I want to have some TV. But the other thing is I try very hard after the age of 40 to not fly economy. When I say I like to luxuriate, you got the sis with the sparkling water, I'm 5'8". You know what I'm saying?
Lifestyle right
okay,
there.
Gina, enough. Yeah. Okay, enough, Gina. Bougie 1 and Bougie 2.
I
Lady
like
T,
her.
to wrap things up.
She's bad and bougie. I like her.
Okay, wrap it up, Lady T.
This is basically, I just want to let you guys know I will not be flying with American Airlines because we don't pay for check bags, baby. Shout out to Southwest Airlines. I'm going to Vegas using them. No check airbags for me. I cannot with them. Oh, no. $75 too? You didn't even make it $50.
They helped up there.
They just was like, let me just skyrocket to the $75 how much I paid to get my nails done.
Okay, well, fine. Okay. Well, once again, great job. We're going to see you later in the show, Gina. Thank you, Lady T, as always.
Thank you.
All right, still ahead. The summer heat will be here before you know it. Coming up, we'll share some tips for weatherproofing your home and keeping the heat out and your cool AC in. And we'll talk about a new way to protect your valuables, like your phone when you're at the pool or at the beach. That's coming.
You're watching Be More Lifestyle.
Don't let your summer waterfront end in tragedy for your phone and valuables. Stacey Bell is here to share a deal on a way to keep your electronics safe and dry this summer.
The following segment is sponsored by Naki.
I found this neat little dry pack that I think you're really gonna like. This is Yugo Wear. There's so many uses. You could take this if you're going to the beach, if you're going to the pool, if you're going to a splash pad with the kids. I'm gonna show you how this works. It's waterproof, so you unzip it, and I'm gonna add my phone. It's got all my pictures, pretty much my life. You can also add a wallet, and then I'm gonna add my keys, okay? You zip it, and when you zip it, you know, it's securely into place. Nothing is coming in and out. All right, this is my phone. It's got my life on it. So here you go. It's in the water. We're going to splash it. I'm holding it down. But if I let it go, it floats. So you could take it into the water. It's not going to sink. It's going to float. All right, I want to show you this too. Look right there. You can still use the camera in this mode. And there you go. You can take pictures under the water, in the water. Your phone is safe. All right, so let's unzip it. You got to put some muscle into unzipping it because it fastens securely into place. And everything is safe in here. The other thing I like about this, you could even take this to games because it's the appropriate size for the stadium. You could use this if you're biking. We're offering right now 30% off Yugo Wear. There's so much you can do with this, not just the water if you're a commuter. So take advantage of the 30% off Yugo Wear. Head to asadeals.com for the exclusive offer.
This Be More Lifestyle segment is sponsored by Owens Corning, First Alert, Pella, and Metal Roofing Alliance.
Summer heat and storms can be unforgiving, but it's not too late to keep the weather out and energy in. Home improvement expert Tom Kreitler joins us now to share the latest trends in energy saving, weather protection, and home safety. Welcome, Tom. How are you?
Hey, Mark. I'm great. Thanks for having me on your show.
Man, so Tom, energy costs are high again this summer. What can we do to keep the AC under control?
Well, I'll tell you what, Mark, if you want to do one improvement that's not only going to save on the cost of cooling, but also heating and keep your home comfortable all year long, insulation should be that project. But you need to select the right insulation for the job. Now, there's a new product out from Owens Corning. It's called Thermofiber Fire and Sound Guard Plus. It's available at Lowe's, and it's a mineral wool product that's made from natural ingredients. And it provides insulation with some enhanced fire, moisture, and sound benefits. And there's a lot of places in the house where that makes sense. For example, shower walls, because it handles moisture, furnaces areas because it handles the heat, and maybe your home office where you want a room to be quiet. Now, you can also save or actually qualify for about $1,200 in tax credits for insulation upgrades under the Inflation Reduction Act. So you can find Thermofiber and all the Owens Corning products, including Pink and fiberglass, at Lowe's and Lowe's.com. Now, windows are also an important thing to consider this time of year. Pella has some really good quality windows, very energy efficient windows with some neat features and benefits. There's options in the efficiency. You can choose double pane glass or triple pane glass like I have here with me today. This is the most efficient glass that's available. You have 3 panes of glass with an insulating gas in between them. It really does a great job, and homeowners can typically recoup about 70% or more of the replacement cost when they sell their homes.
So, Tom, it looks like the summer storms are hitting early and often these days. How can we protect our homes from worsening weather?
Well, asphalt shingles are the most common types of shingles out there, but when it comes to weather and storm resistance, metal roofs are definitely the way to go. They're incredibly strong, they're resilient, they can withstand hurricane and tornado force winds and hail and ice, and they have the highest level of fire resistance available. You have cedar shakes, you have slate patterns, you have copper patterns, but a lot less expensive than a copper roof. And then you also have this one. This is a terracotta tile style roof. And what's neat about these roofs is that their coatings help reflect the heat from the sun back out. So even in the summer, you get a cool roof. And finally, let's talk about air quality, especially after all of this smoke that's been running around across the country. Look for the new First Alert combination photoelectric smoke and carbon monoxide alarm. It has a 10-year battery. So let's think about that. 10-year alarms means you do not ever have to change the battery. It runs for 10 years, and then you get a new alarm. And also, while you're at it, add a fire extinguisher on every level of the home, and you will be safe and secure and protected throughout the summer and the months to come.
Tom, great information. Thanks so much for sharing with us, okay?
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Sure, take care. Meeting the critical needs of refugees around the world, just ahead, the on-the-ground support to help some of the most vulnerable people around the world. Coming up, a social media influencer shares how to tap into your best self.
This is Be More Lifestyle.
Gina Humber is a social media influencer who is known for her various interests from exotic travel to self-healing and entrepreneurship. She joins us now. Gina, how are you?
I am wonderful.
So on social media, you really connect with your people showing your many gifts. You know, that seems like it's hard to do. I mean, you don't fit in one box, you know, and you don't fit into just one age. So Gina, how did you do it? What's the secret?
You know, I have this very firm belief that we all have multiple gifts, right? But that the construct is you only have one niche. Well, then we call it niche. Now it's niche. You know, like you only have one. And that's so not true. I mean, look at yourself. Here you are, a speaker, but you're not only a speaker, you're a writer. So that means you're creative. So that means there's so many other things that involve your creativity. But we tend to think in this world, there's only one ingredient with yourself. And there's so many more ingredients that make up you.
Gina, one of the things you talk about is feminine divine energy. Can you tell us about that?
Oh my gosh, like feminine energy is what runs this entire planet. You know, and so when we connect with that, women and men, you know, we get to connect into that flow, into that creativity that we talk about. And so like when you look at a man who is connected to his feminine energy, he's also really good with his children. He's a great communicator. It adds to his life. You know, and so the same thing as a woman, you know, our feminine energy kind of sets the tone, the room of the house, of everything around us. And we gain that in nature and in water, like in that last segment that we were talking, and all these different things. And then we become these spiritual, beautiful beings.
Talk to us about some of the ventures you're into, because you're in so many different ones, and they're not necessarily they're totally different. But then I remember the first time I met you, you're a brain person. You're a brain person. So go ahead. I'm sorry. Tell us about your ventures.
Oh no. So you know, I love to travel. You know, the very fact of me traveling allows me to be more feminine because I open up to humanity, right? I get to see people in different cultures and eat different foods, and it's absolutely amazing, and it adds to me, you know? And so along with that had me buy land in Costa Rica. I can't wait for you to come, and I'm building an Airbnb, and at the same time, I teach women how to tap into their feminine energy and how to bring that home. We become so used to being the workforce, you know? I bring home the bacon, I fry it up in the pan, and then we forget, you know, all about the man. And so that's not necessarily a popular thought, but it's the thought that our grandmothers had. You know, it's the thought that allowed us to see our man in many different kind of ways. And it's also the thought that re-energized us as women.
So Gina, as we wrap things up, you're up for AARP, Face of AARP, a contest. How do we support you, and also how can people follow you?
Well, I am one of the finalists, and I'm super excited about that. And because I believe in intention, I believe in winning. So if you guys follow me on Instagram at Gina Humber, GINAHUMBER, you will connect with my manifestation of me becoming the face of AARP.
Awesome. Gina, thanks so much for joining us. And won't be the last time, okay? We'll see you soon.
Thank you, love. Take care.
Take care. Now, in our wild and wonderful weather, New York City is looking stunning in the morning. Meteorologist Justin Chambers shares the view of New York.
Look at this gorgeous shot of the sunrise over New York City. You can see the Freedom Tower right there, a few clouds around as well. Always making for just some awesome pictures. And we always love getting your pictures, sunrise, sunset, your pets, your graduating seniors, your dads for Father's Day on our Chime In section of our website. Heating up this afternoon, numbers for Juneteenth are going to be well above average. Then we're tracking some showers moving in later this week, and we'll see cooler numbers by the time we get into your Wednesday. That's with the rain that is on the way. So hour by hour numbers, mid to upper 80s and lower 90s into that 2 and 3 o'clock hour for the afternoon with plenty of sunshine. May be able to hold off on the watering of the yards when your sprinkler casts, because we are tracking more rain, especially as we get into Wednesday and Thursday later this week. High temps, though, in that above average category. Upper 80s and lower 90s across central Maryland, Chestertown down to Stevensville, 84 in Annapolis, 88 in Columbia and Laurel, even down to D.C., close to 90 today. And if you're heading down the ocean, numbers in the mid-70s for Ocean City and Rehoboth, looking good at the beach for your Monday. Now, as we get later into the week, more of these showers are going to impact all of us. So this is Monday afternoon. Some of those showers creeping into parts of Virginia. Most of this stays south of Baltimore through Monday afternoon into the evening time. Tuesday brings at least a chance of a couple of stray showers here and there, but a better chance for rain really rolling in on Wednesday. That's when you can see more of that moisture rolling right through there in that Wednesday afternoon time frame. And we'll keep that going, that area of low pressure kind of tracking up, bringing that Gulf of Mexico moisture into our area right up the Atlantic seaboard. So that's going to continue through Thursday afternoon as well. And even into the weekend, we stay a little bit unsettled. So we haven't had a pattern like this where we see these off and on showers for a while, but this is definitely needed with as dry as we've been. So 91 today, mid-80s tomorrow, only about 80 for both Wednesday and Thursday. Then those numbers are climbing as we head toward the weekend and even warmer by next week.
This Be More Lifestyle segment is sponsored by Airbnb.org.
With millions of refugees searching for safety and shelter, a collaboration between Airbnb.org and the International Organization for Migration is providing resources and solutions. Joining us now to discuss are Kristen Berlacher from the Airbnb.org and Amy Pope from the International Organization for Migration. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
So how has the state of refugees and asylum seekers evolved in recent years, and where have you seen the greatest need?
Today, there are more than 100 million people who are forcibly displaced around the world, many because of conflict, some because of natural disasters or community violence. The needs are urgent and they are global.
Why is providing temporary housing a key part of refugee relief, and what are the long-term benefits to both the refugees, asylum seekers, and local communities hosting them?
Well, when refugees are forced to flee their homes, one of their most immediate and urgent needs is finding a temporary place to stay. So that's why Airbnb.org works with organizations like IOM to provide these short-term stays. And we partner with hosts who offer their space oftentimes for free or at a discount. And just not having to worry about housing, even temporarily, allows refugees to focus on other critical needs, whether that's accessing medical care or other social services.
How's the partnership between Airbnb.org and the International Organization for Migration been instrumental in addressing the housing needs of refugees and asylum seekers?
If we take the war in Ukraine as just one example, within 1 month after the war breaking out, IOM had signed a partnership agreement with Airbnb.org to provide much needed housing to the millions of people who were fleeing the conflict. We've been able to provide more than 175,000 stays to people in 7 different countries. That kind of on-the-ground, practical, immediate support is absolutely critical to meeting the needs of some of the most vulnerable people fleeing the conflict.
How can people learn more about this work and support ongoing refugee relief efforts by Airbnb.org and IOM?
Sure. Well, too often with humanitarian crises like these, the needs on the ground are going to far outlast the media headlines and public attention. And as Amy mentioned, there's millions of people who are displaced in places like Ukraine and Afghanistan. So public donations is one of the easiest ways to help support and ensure that our work is sustained. You can get involved and learn more by visiting both organizations' websites. You can check out Airbnb.org as well as USA for IOM, which is the nonprofit arm of IOM here in the US. You can also donate directly to IOM. And right now, Airbnb.org has a matching campaign running where all donations up to a total of $5 million will be matched 1-to-1.
Drink up, but how much? We share the results of today's You Tell It just ahead.